latest immigration news. We're gonna talk about the latest immigration news, and you have to bear with me because I'm still struggling with this strange flu. I'm almost getting better, so probably by the end of the month I'll be back to normal, so I can really talk. But right now I'm just gonna make videos, okay? If you need a consultation with me, of course you can always schedule it by using the consultation link in the bio. But as far as live sessions, I have to fully recover because I'm not playing with that anymore. I try to force it and it just turns bad, okay? Anyway, so the first news, we have new forms. Moving forward, USCIS change certain forms, the forms that we use for certain applications, and there's no grace period. So you have to use the new form, period. There's no, back in the days, they will change the form and they'll give you sometimes to adjust to the new form. But they're saying you just use the new form. That's it. If you don't do that, it just goes, it's going to get rejected. And you just don't want a denial anyway. So just use the new form. As a matter of fact, when you're trying to apply, the more you have to check the new form when you're trying to send an application. That's just a general rule. I always check the new form before I even if I already applied. Even if I already filed the application, I always check the new form before I actually submit the application, like mail it, okay? Unless it's being done online, that you have no problem. But those applications are paper filings, okay? We have the form I-3560, I-914. We have the TV, the application for the T visa, and then we have the I-918 for the U visa, new form. I-192, I-134, that's for declaration for financial support. This is the one that people use for humanitarian parole, to support that type of case. And then the I-131, the one that we use for advance parole, travel document, arrival, departure records, stuff like that. That's too, new form. We have the green card application and the supplement A and supplement J for the form I-485, which is the green card application. You have to use the new form moving forward, and the application for naturalization, citizenship, moving forward, just new form. If you're applying, like, let's say today, just get the new form. That's it. Okay? That's the first news. And this is really important because you don't want to get a rejection and you don't want to miss the deadline, especially for people who are applying under employment base. You don't want to miss the deadline because of, the you have to be within lawful presence. And if you miss the deadline, it gets rejected, the time for you to submit it back, you might miss the deadline. So you just go with the new form. As simple as that. Okay? Just bear with me, as I said. So the second news, notice to appear. So USCIS, let me pull it here so I can explain it correctly. USCIS is going to be using notice. It's going to be sending out notice to appear for certain cases. If they find something, they're just gonna send it notice to appear, even if the application has been withdrawn. I want to see notice to appear here. Hold on. I just want to explain it correctly. Oh, notice to appear, notice to appear. Okay. So, no, I don't want this one. I want the one that has a lot of explanation. I want the one that has explanation so I can explain it better. Okay, yeah, this one. So USCIS is sending notice to appear, okay? So essentially what they're saying is that when a case is denied, that's in general, the person become unlawfully present. Of course, the person is subject to inadmissibility. and then they have to refer the case to court, right? But on top of it, what they're adding to that, because that's normal procedure, that's how it works. They will refer the case to court if it gets denied. Under Biden, sometimes they won't refer if the case is not a priority. But now what they're saying is that they are going to refer cases, and they are not going to exempt any classes when it comes to referring cases, especially when it comes to criminal cases, okay? They're gonna refer it. USCIS will issue a notice to appear against removable citizen if they've been arrested, charged with, or convicted for a criminal offense. If the benefit request is denied or withdraw, okay? The benefit is denied or withdraw, they will issue a notice to appear for cases involving criminal charges. But just know, on top of it, if the case involves a charge that requires mandatory detention, they're just gonna detain the person first before even referring the person to court. Remember, we have the Laken Riley Act, which says that people convicted or charged with theft crimes will be basically detained, mandatory detention, and then deported. So yeah, that's on top of what they're going to do for cases involving criminal records, okay? And then criminal charges listed on the notice to appear must be supported by evidence, okay? But there's exception for people who have deferred action for childhood arrival and temporary protected status. It's just going to depend. Maybe some people, the case get denied, but they don't get referred because they have temporary protected status. But the thing is, if the offense supersedes the temporary protected status, which means if the offense is not waivable, yeah, even if you have temporary protected status, you'll be referred to court, because then they're gonna just take it away from you, okay? What else here? On top of it, they might issue also a even for employment type of benefit, like the form I-129, when it gets denied, you find yourself in removal proceedings. And if you've been convicted of, you apply for citizenship, but you've been convicted of deportable offenses, you find yourself in removal proceedings. Misrepresentation, that's what I wanted to talk about. Fraud of misrepresentation. If the case gets denied, you find yourself in removal proceedings. So in other words, if they find out that the case involved fraud, misrepresentation, you're just going to find yourself in removal proceedings. But we know that we have a chance to apply for a waiver, which if you get approved, then the case get approved as well. So we just got an approval for a waiver. I believe I got the letter yesterday, but the approval happened, I believe, on February 28th. That's a waiver of fraud and misrepresentation. I think I have to make a separate video on that. But yeah, so misrepresentation, fraud, just be aware. You might just find yourself in removal proceedings. Yeah, they will issue a notice to appear for expedited removal cases as well. They will issue a notice to appear for affirmative asylum application. USCIS, that's just standard procedure. You go to the asylum office and you do your interview. If it doesn't work, you're just gonna find yourself in removal proceedings, okay? Okay, affirmative asylum applicant whose application were referred to, your asylum was referred to immigration court, and then the proceeding were dismissed. So then you go again and file an affirmative asylum claim, and then you get an interview by the officer. they're just gonna refer it to, again, to the immigration court. As a matter of fact, in that case, if you don't win, of course, right? But I just want to point out on this one, when a case gets dismissed in removal proceedings when it comes to asylum, and then you go ahead and file again, you have to have change of circumstances. Otherwise, the asylum vetting center is just not going to take the case because the case has already been adjudicated. It has to be a new case for them to take it. Yeah, otherwise it's just like a waste of your time. So if an application for I-90 is being denied due to abandonment of lawful permanent residency, you find yourself in removal proceedings. In other words, what's happening here is this, right? Because under Biden, they will not refer the cases that were not a priority. They will just, not refer them because it got denied. What they're saying here, if a case gets denied, it's just gonna get referred to immigration court, period. Okay, that's basically what they're saying. But the emphasis is on the misrepresentation. Just have to be careful on that one. I don't know how it's gonna play out. I don't know if the waiver has to be applied in court at that point. But if you have a case that involves misrepresentation, you really have to apply for a waiver and see if the waiver is gonna get approved. And we do have experience with those type of waiver, especially when it comes to misrepresentation. Even waivers for on criminal grounds, depending on the case and the facts of the case, we can still help you out, right? So that was the second news. Then we have the third news. Alien registration requirement. You gotta register if you are supposed to register. Basically, if you've never been fingerprinted, you have to register. That's just in summary. I talked about it in my last video, but in summary, if you've never been fingerprinted and you live in the United States without a document, you have to, whether you have a document or not, if you've never been fingerprinted, you have to register, okay? That's what it says. I don't want to go over all that, but that's in general what it says. Never been fingerprinted, you gotta register. Alien registration, okay? They said they're gonna give us the how to register. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm still waiting for that, okay? Then we have how many policy actions we have currently in place when it comes to immigration. We have 161 policy actions. I think USCIS, basically USCIS has created new forms to enhance screening and vetting for immigration application. They were really new forms. DHS asked IRS for information about undocumented immigrant, but this one went to court, right? And it looks like it was blocked. Yeah, this one went to court. I'm going to talk about those breaking news when it comes to the Trump administration lawsuits and where we currently stand. What else? ICE reopened the Delaney Hall Detention Facility in New Jersey. It's a new facility they just reopened. The Department of State expands visa restriction, that's like a travel ban policy, for individual linked to Cuban labor export program, okay? DHS announces that it will enforce laws that penalize undocumented immigrants. Yeah, and then the TPS for Haiti has been reduced. So, yeah. That's what they're doing. But pretty much what they're trying to do is to make it really hard when it comes to getting an immigration benefits. But if you have a case, a straightforward case, you should apply. even if a case involves misrepresentation, if you qualify for a waiver, you should apply for a waiver. Yeah, and we have expertise on that. Then we have some breaking news here. Judge, okay, it says that you know, the Trump administration, when it came to power, they issue a lot of executive orders, okay? And then some people filed lawsuits. When it comes to, I'm going to talk about the major one. When it comes to birthright citizenship, it's blocked. So, in other words, people who, women who got their children, who gave birth to their children, they're still eligible for U.S. citizenship because that executive order has been blocked nationwide, okay? And the Trump wanted to unblock it. They haven't succeeded yet. So this thing is just going to end up at the Supreme Court. I'll keep you posted. But as of today, at least someone who's born from undocumented parent, as of today, they can still get the U.S. citizenship because the executive order was blocked. When it comes to refugee ban, the judge put the injunction on it because remember the Trump administration, they cancel the flights, they cancel the program and stuff, and people were just, even the people who already got the approval, so they went to court and the judge blocked the executive order that canceled all that. In other words, in technically they have to come because they were already approved. So I'm not sure if they already got here, but as far as the court order is concerned, it says that the judge blocked that Trump executive order. Okay, so those are the major things that at least they lost. And then the third one is that the Trump administration wanted to for the IRS to provide all the information of undocumented individual. So basically they want to find out who's working illegally and stuff like that so they can be deported. But IRS went to court and that executive order too has been blocked. There's an injunction on it. As of today, they cannot, but I don't know how it's gonna end because it's still, litigation takes time. But as far as blocking, it has been blocked. Okay. So what else? Those are the three majors as far as the lawsuits. Basically, there are a lot of lawsuits going on, but those are the major one that really concern us or our subscribers, because there are a lot of things that are going on, but we have to focus on what concerns us more as far as immigration is concerned. Those are the major one. If I have something else, I'll let you know. But just know that we have catch up on all the major immigration policies that have been implemented. And if you still have an immigration problem or you want to resolve your case, just go ahead and schedule a consultation. That's all I can say for now. If you follow me on IG, sometimes I break the news there on my story because I get it from my phone, because I'm registered with those immigration policies organizations. I can break the news there too. But otherwise, other than that, you can always come here on YouTube. You find a video that talk about anything immigration related. Okay, so that's the summary of the latest immigration news. We have some approvals. We have TPS approved, work permit approved. We have what else we have? We have a waiver that took like 2.5 years to get approved, but eventually got approved. That's a waiver of misrepresentation and fraud. So I'm still working with my client. I have a couple interviews to attend. I'm gonna give my interview advice on TikTok. Okay, follow me on TikTok to get the interview advice. Until next time, Bye-bye. But do not forget to consult, okay? If you need it. Until next time, bye-bye.